Eccoci qua, tornati ragazzi con il Calice Nero, finalmente siamo ritornati a rompere le balle e per i ben
Buonasera.
pensanti, per i incoglioniti e per quant'altro, andatene a fanculo perché siamo tornati a rompervi i coglioni dalla mattina alla sera. Buonasera
Sì,
Nigredo.
sì. Buonasera, e anche se siamo un po' messi male, abbiamo
Porca
deciso
troia.
comunque che lo spettacolo non si ferma e oggi abbiamo comunque andiamo un po' su liti un po' particolari. Ecco, maestro, mi raccomando, teniamoci pronto il pulsante per mutare il
Ciao
microfono
Ale, ciao
stasera.
Matteo.
Proprio.
No,
Ciao
no, mi
Alessandro,
vado a
un
fare...
abbraccio.
Hai capito,
Ciao
io chiamo il
Matteo.
118, mi faccio ricoverare.
No, sì, qua dobbiamo tenere subito il pulsante pronto per, diciamo, per
Non
mutare.
tossire.
Intanto avvisiamo il nostro ospite nell'anticamera del programma che entrerà tra un minuto.
Ciao
Allora,
Tony.
perché questo episodio e per come? Il neofolk, l'industrial, il Marshall Industrial, oppure il dark ambient, il neoclassico, il power electronics, la musica sperimentale come drone e noise vengono trattate in questo canale in maniera molto assidua, ma la parte, diciamo, neofolcheggiante forse un pochino di meno. E allora cosa ho pensato sotto appunto approvazione del maestro, perché diciamo gli episodi ehm, ce li studiamo insieme con tanto mesi in anticipo, che ho visto questa notizia dove c'è stato un ban da parte di PayPal, ecco, allo shop dei detti in June perché considerati NSBM. E sinceramente, a parte tirarmi i coglioni per questa notizia, io infatti c'è Chris della Steelwork Maschine nella, diciamo, in anteprima, che si sta facendo una risata e sto facendo la spiegazione.
Sì, perché
Allora
se i
mi sono,
decine sono
mi sono un
NSBM
po'
sono veramente
girato le
assurdi.
palle, perché ho detto: è mai possibile che nel 2022 abbiamo questa capacità di documentarci anche sul buco del culo e non riusciamo a comprendere la maestosità del neofolk, ma soprattutto dei detti in giù.
Certo.
E quindi a
Douglas Pierce.
settembre abbiamo fatto già le puntate fino a novembre. Ho chiesto a Chris di fare una diretta con noi dove speriamo di poter appunto estendere la collaborazione in futuro.
Mm-hmm.
Io personalmente sono cresciuto con i Death in June, Chris fa anche parte dei Westwind, che è un'altra band francese, e vi presentiamo un attimo l'etichetta che si chiama Steelwork Machine. Steelwork Machine è una etichetta indipendente francese che comunque viene dalle ceneri comunque di un'altra etichetta di molto tempo fa che si chiama Black Sun Rising. E abbiamo deciso anche di invitare Chris perché lui cura la sezione del merchandising e la sezione un po', diciamo, di gestionale dei Death in June. Quindi abbiamo pensato di invitarlo in diretta sia per dare la giusta pubblicità, insomma, a una persona che comunque da tanto tempo è a supporto della musica underground, ma soprattutto dopo queste censure del cazzo vogliamo appunto dare noi lo spazio a quelli che ingiustamente vengono appunto censurati in qualche modo, proprio per ribadire la nostra libertà di espressione totale. E poi soprattutto ragazzi, cioè, parliamo dei detti in June, cioè NSBM, ma dove? Cioè nel senso
Stiamo parlando dei due gruppi più importanti del neofolk, Death in June, Douglas Pierce e Tony,
esatto.
adesso mi ricordo il cognome,
Tony Wakeford, esatto.
appunto dei
L'altro ne avevamo
Segui.
parlato
Ciao
pure
Arianna.
con Giacinto. Intanto
Bacio.
salutiamo tutti e siccome abbiamo preso un po' di minuti, poi dopo lo spiegherò in inglese a Chris che sta aspettando, lo facciamo entrare. So, just for Chris that is going to enter, we just described in Italian the way that we started to engage the conversation that let you, of course, be a guest on il Calice Nero, but without wasting other time, welcome Chris from Steelwork Machine. Hi Chris, and welcome to il Calice Nero.
Hi,
Hello Chris.
Hello.
Allora,
Okay, I hope that I try to resume something about what happened and what led us to contact you in the first place.
Yeah.
Of course, we don't want to underline what happened, but maybe in other questions. And as always, there are a lot of people, of course, that can make questions and that are part of this live stream. And as always, before starting with the question of the maestro, guys, if you have one question about the whole world that Kris is managing, you can make it by commenting or writing on our Telegram group. So without any further ado, Maestro, iniziamo con la tua question, la tua domanda, your question to Kris.
Sì, perché l'ho preparata l'altro ieri, 2 settimane. Sì, perché devo rileggere, perché l'ho preparata 2 settimane fa la domanda.
Sì.
Allora, Kris, come vengono catalogate le band all'interno della tua label e allo stesso tempo con che criterio artistico appunto vengono scelte? Nel senso, devono avere degli input particolari, dei testi particolari, delle sonorità e delle influenze particolari per entrare all'interno del tuo roster, del roster della tua band?
Okay, so the first question from Alan, the maestro, is about your the label side. No, it's about choosing the artist and also the people that maybe in partnership they start to working with you under your Steelwork machine, your label. The maestro is curious about the criteria of choosing bands and choosing records, maybe to reprint or redistribute, and the whole artistic side that maybe led you and your partners to choose the right band to produce or distribute under Steelwork machine.
There's not really any criteria. I think it's just Steelwork machine is me and my friend Serge. We run the label at 2 people, and it's just when we just fall in love with something, with some music, with some band, and it's just like that. It's like the previous records we had, like Lisieux. I just fell in love with their music, and Figure. It's all the same. Every record is like it's an act of love. So there's not really any criteria regarding music or what they do or their influences. It's just we fall in love with it and we want to release it. Really.
Okay. And about the love of the music, we know that of course the label is specialized in some genres, but just maybe a stupid question, but I think that have some sense to make it. About the love and the artistic side, what are your we say that of course you do not have any criteria, but the live situation, the live show, and the way that people put a show have some importance in this case, or you judge only about the record as the recordings, not records. Sorry.
No, we don't care about live music. Actually, it's there are some bands that we produce never play live. I mean, my own project Westwind exists in 1999, and I've never played live any concert. So basically, we don't care about that.
Okay.
It's just and we don't even care if a record sells a lot or not a lot. It's just that's we want to release it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And about the conceptual side, from choosing the right support to release cassette, vinyl, CD, for example, from the artistic way of making the artwork, the internal booklet and stuff like that. You make some direction to the band, or let the band be 100% do by their own? Because when we did some interview to other labels, because mainly in this channel we interview extreme metal, from death metal to black metal to neo folk, power electronics, drone noise, etc. Some labels said, no, I prefer to create, me as label manager, I'm also a graphic designer, I prefer to have put the end on the conceptual and let's call the packaging. What are your opinion?
It's not a case. It's not a case at all. We don't. I don't like to tell someone what he has to do. In generally speaking, so I don't have to tell artists on our label to do their music like this or like that, or I'm a sound engineer myself, so I can help them with the sound. And Serge is basically a graphist, so it was his job too. So he can do it. He can do he can work on the artwork, but basically we don't want to tell them what to do. They have 100% freedom about what they do on a record.
Okay.
And it goes the same for their music. It goes the same for their lyrics. We don't have to tell them what to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the 100% artistic freedom in this case, because as you said, if you decide to carry one band, it's because you completely trust their work.
Yeah.
And their so it's about knowing each other before starting
exactly.
like a work relationship. It's more like I think a mutual relationship between label and artist. Or I think I got the point. I hope.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
And one questions before translating what we said. Of course, maybe it's another stupid question, but we forgot to make it before. Why and what were the aims that made you with your partner, of course, let's call the partner in crime, to create this situation after some experience already in that kind of, let's call, scene to a simplicity of translation. But what were your let's say what is the ethos behind Steelwork Maschine?
Basically, Steelwork Maschine, we started it in 2002, 2003. It was basically to release our own records.
Okay.
So I had West Wind. I still have West Wind. Serge has Neon Rain, and we wanted to be able by ourselves to do everything and do our own records. And Serge and I, it's like we're like brothers, but in the we have a sort of feeling where we think the same thing at the same time. Sometimes we have a connection like that, and it's just that it's we do what we like and we do it together, and
okay. Interesting, because of course this shares a lot of stories of other people that we interviewed about the label, because we noticed that people started a label for first their own release, but because they have like a feeling and a way to work that is different than the existing one, so they create something new basically. Okay. Before going on, translation time for me, and also asking as always to the people, if they want to interact and ask you a particular question, they can make it through comments or Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, or even on our group on Telegram. By the way, all the links and stuff in description, share, subscribe, blah blah, you know all the things. Ok, allora ragazzi, ricordiamoci che siamo in diretta con Kris della Steelwork Maschine, anche parte fa volontariato internazionale a sostegno del popolo ucraino, quindi le comunità delle persone che vengono colpite, ma anche diciamo che gestisce la questione del manageriale del merchandising di gruppi da Team Crisis, ma anche lui è uno dei West Wind, e poi c'ha il suo partner che è del gruppo Neon Rain. Praticamente abbiamo parlato all'inizio dell'etichetta, che comunque è francese e ha un suo mail order e produce dal Martial Industrial, Dark Ambient, al Neo Folk, al Power Electronics, e nasce da un'esperienza precedente con un'altra label, che poi hanno visto sia Kris, che è in diretta con noi, che il suo partner Serge, una via per produrre le release delle loro band, perché avevano una loro etica, una loro modalità che non veniva accolta magari da altre persone, e quindi loro hanno deciso di creare la loro etichetta. La domanda del maestro, in base a quali criteri potessero essere di Steelwork Maschine per scritturare o promuovere artisti. loro lasciano la completa libertà artistica alle persone, così come la completa libertà a livello concettuale di liriche, di testi e di grafiche, anche se comunque loro stessi sono dei tecnici del suono o dei graphic designer, quindi anche loro possono dare in quel senso la loro, diciamo, veduta, ma non si mette bocca se l'artista decide in una certa maniera, perché loro prendono solamente gli artisti che loro credono che possano essere congeniali all'interno del loro roster, quindi non si decide mai di prendere qualche artista se non a loro non piace, e non gli interessa della questione live o meno. Loro hanno anche progetti che per esempio decidono di non andare live, ma la loro diciamo missione è quella di dare slancio artistico e dare comunque una risonanza a progetti che comunque vengono lavorati in un certo modo ed hanno una situazione di impatto artistico micidiale. Li possiamo vedere benissimo andando sul loro sito, che vi facciamo vedere mentre traduco, che è steelwork.fr praticamente, dove potete vedere il loro catalogo molto vasto. Insomma, un attimo, I share the screen of the Steelwork website in case people are interested. We will list it in description. Okay, I think I've translated everything, and as always I will pass the word to my buddy, the maestro, for the next question. Vai, maestro.
Niente, per quanto riguarda invece la crisi dei vinili per i costi eccessivi, quindi veramente dei costi poco ormai consoni alle etichette per produrre anche neofolk, perché le vendite sicuramente nel neofolk non sono come il death o il black o il trash o altri generi come il doom, ad esempio. Quanto è difficile promuovere una band, produrre una band solamente in vinile neofolk, sia nella situazione vendite, ma soprattutto nella situazione nel far sì che il prodotto fuoriesca dall'Europa per arrivare in luoghi intercontinentali come appunto l'America Latina o Stati Uniti. Sono attenti quelle nazioni su questi generi?
Okay, so Chris, the question of the maestro is about the curiosity behind the production and the cost and the way that labels nowadays have to deal with the construction material of vinyls and other stuff like that. Because of course we also have our own little label, boutique label, and we had a lot of problems in terms of cost and delays for the material of vinyl. Even the 7-inch is about good investment to make.
It's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, ridiculous is the right word. Actually, I'm laughing to not cry in this way. And so we want to, since of course we are, even if you are big fans of the neofolk and the whole spectrum of genres that you produce with Steelwork Maschine, we are from the extreme metal situation, the extreme metal scene. So we want to know how is difficult, if it's not the same, to promote, produce, for example, neofolk in vinyl, and what were your maybe strategy is not the correct word, but your aims behind the production of a band? Because of course, as we can see, we got from LPs, CDs, DVDs, tapes. What also were the difficulties, of course, to produce new bands nowadays, and what were your opinion about the trend of vinyls and cassettes?
When I started the label, it was like 20 years ago, and we had to wait like 2 months to release a vinyl, and no payment up front. And now it's like the Crisis record we have released a few months ago. It's what I think it's the worst situation we ever had, because we waited for 10 months.
10 months.
10 months, yeah. It was crazy. It was just a CD and a 7-inch, and we waited for 10 months that the factory send us the record. So it's a bit related to COVID, but they are also completely overridden by the mainstream record companies. that are completely overflowing the factories with records from Coldplay or Adele or that kind of shit. And yeah, it's getting boring because now it's like you have to pay upfront 5,000 euros and wait for 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, and you have the record. And you have, we were a bit in a crisis situation actually when we released the Crisis record, because we couldn't release anything during the time because it was so expensive, and we had to wait to recover our production costs.
Expenses.
Yeah.
About the tapes, since of course tapes also started to
Yeah.
being part again of the mainstream market too. I saw Slipknot, for example, releasing tapes too. What the problems are still the same, or only the vinyls are the
No,
most
it's only the vinyls.
Okay.
CDs like you can do a CD and have it in like 2 weeks, and it's really not expensive. Tapes, no, it's just a bit longer, but it's okay too. It's not the vinyl situation is completely different. It's really because of the mainstream records company
Okay.
who are completely saturating the market. And
about the promoting
in France, like we have the stores, la Fnac.
okay,
Maybe you know the Fnac in France.
Fnac, the chain,
And
the chain store.
yeah.
Okay.
And 10 years ago, they didn't do any more vinyls. Vinyl was dead for them. And now it's like in every Fnac there's a huge vinyl, and it's killing smaller labels and smaller stores, independent stores.
And about the I know it's something not so good to say, but
Yeah.
our curiosity, the sell of vinyl in neo folk alternative music like this are good, or the people still prefer the CD? What is the favorite support
I don't think there's any
customer on your
preference.
website?
There's any preference in generally speaking in the audience. There's some people who prefer to still buy to CD. There's still some people who want to buy vinyl, and some people will just buy a cassette. So there's not really a general preference towards a media. But generally speaking, CD is dying.
Okay. CD is
Yeah,
done.
CD. It's like we sell more vinyls than CDs, and we have more CDs than vinyls.
I need to order some CDs from the shop actually. So you will get rid of some CD
Cool.
as soon as possible as a Christmas gift for myself. By the way, it's an interesting point of view because of course we got like in just few years the difference between the, let's call the market, no? So we saw and we see the spread of vinyl, and also the way that are conceptual of the vinyl of the mainstream music. For this reason, we asked you this because, of course, we are Maestro. Be more fun of me than vinyl. I grew up with cassette and CDs because I'm a 90 guy.
Yeah.
But Maestro have a huge collection of vinyl, and we get curious when we speak with another a small label. How are the situation? Sadly, it's still bad. It's bad. No matter the genre of music, it's bad because, of course, the factories are like, as you said, they are like have overwork, so they a lot of things to do, and also the wait month, 10 months. It's ridiculous, really. 1 year waiting for a product, and of course, with the hope that you will recover the expenses, as I imagine.
Yeah.
Okay, Maestro, traduco un attimo. Okay, I'm translating a little bit, and we go next. By the way, I try to not count so much, but sorry guys, in case we catch the cold. It's that period of the ok. Ok, ragazzi, siamo tutti quanti un po' uccisi. E quindi traduciamo velocemente. Allora, per quanto riguarda la vendita del vinile, maestro, non ci sono grosse aspettative di vendita, perché comunque diciamo la label è una label indipendente, quindi comunque è una label di riferimento. Siccome ne ha parlato anche, ha anche nomi come Crisis e Death in June, che sono i pesi massimi del genere post-punk, neo-folk, eccetera. Diciamo che loro si incentrano molto sulle cassette. Ho fatto anche domande sulle cassette e sui vinili, però il tempo di attesa per un 7 pollici hanno detto 10-11 mesi da pagare in anticipo, insomma un casino incredibile, perché comunque diciamo l'opinione di Kris è anche molto interessante, che nessuno finora ci ha detto. Non è tanto il materiale, ma il fatto che le case discografiche mainstream, le grosse, lui ha fatto riferimenti, ha detto tipo di quelle band di merda come i Coldplay, per esempio, nel 2022 anche loro continuano a stampare migliaia di copie in vinile, quindi le fabbriche di vinile sono piene di lavoro, e quindi ovviamente il lavoro delle piccole label viene posto in secondo piano, perché comunque sono un po' più limitate. Loro hanno fatto una release CD più 7 pollici dei Crisis, che ha dovuto aspettare un anno praticamente, quindi è stato in ballo per un anno, e loro hanno dovuto anche anticipare una somma veramente esagerata di soldi per poi sperare, aspettare. Anche i test pressing eccetera sono stati molto hanno avuto dei ritardi incredibili, però dice alla fine non è tanto il formato, perché non c'è un formato preferito da parte delle persone che comunque acquistano o sono fan della label, ma più che altro è la fruizione. I CD stanno proprio andando alla deriva, insomma, siccome hanno un overstock di CD. Cassette così, però i vinili restano l'articolo clou, che però ha delle spese e dei tempi di attesa assolutamente improponibili. Quindi spero che diciamo ti risponda a questa domanda. Maestro, c'è il microfono mutato, però se vuoi posso fare anche io la domanda, siccome entriamo un po' più nel vivo, siccome lui gestisce anche il
Ci sono. Aspetta, prima vorrei fare una domanda. Sì, vorrei fare una domanda.
Sì,
allora, le differenze, voglio sapere con Kris, le differenze di alcuni generi. Neofolk, quello puro, quello immacolato, il Marshall, da che cosa deriva proprio in maniera dettagliata, e poi anche dal appunto Neofolk Dark Cabaret. Neofolk Dark Cabaret, il cabaret che appunto il Dada Cabaret, questo e quest'altro, con Tristan Tzara, Julius Evola e quant'altro. Quanto anche Julius Evola, un filosofo che appunto è stato il primo creatore in Italia del dadaismo, è riuscito a influenzare sia la parte neofolk, quella pure immacolata come stavo dicendo poc'anzi, quella appunto neofolk, e anche quella parte dark. Quanto è riuscito lui come filosofo proprio a inglobare con la sua filosofia all'interno degli strumenti dei musicisti?
Ok. So, Kris, a question more like philosophical, okay?
Yeah.
More philosophical. Of course, the maestro nominated the first Italian Dada, which is Julius Evola, and also Tristan Tzara.
Yeah.
And since he is a big fan of both of these, let's call philosopher thinkers, okay? He wants to know, from your perspective, their work into the Dadaism art, how was big as influence for the martial industrial as well for the neo folk, and what are your opinion? Because we got also a message from Telegram about a guy that say, Graziano, please ask if Kris can relate and explain the differences between those genres. Just for me, that I'm not so familiar with. I know that it's a big question, but of course, people of course are asking also basically the philosophical and artistic influences in those kind of music.
You mean the difference between like neo folk and dark folk and
Yeah, but
Neo
in terms
folk,
of
dark folk e cabaret.
yeah, also
Ah.
but related also on the concept and philosophy
Oh
behind.
yeah,
Because
I
of course,
think the cabaret you are referring to is like something that really it's really a few bands who will say we do like a dark cabaret and
yes,
so
yes,
I don't know really it's like it's like people saying they do folk noir or it's really a thing of their own, I think. It's like, but the difference of dark folk and neo folk, I don't think there's really a difference. Dark folk may be like, I don't think there's any difference. It's just a feeling you'll get inside in the group, like the Enchanted Wood, a band that we've released. You can tell it more. It's dark folk because it's more dark, and some other bands who have more post-punk or industrial influences will be more neo-folk.
Okay.
Yeah, and dark folk will be more with maybe dark ambient or dark.
I think that
Per caso
cabaret,
conosce
aspetta anche maestro.
Roma?
The cabaret side, it's about the maestro was asking not about, of course, some bands like to self-label their music also to make
Yeah.
it appealing, but it's about the
It's
maybe
like me for me, West Wind is a post-apocalyptic music. It's so it's my own stuff. So someone would say we do cabaret music and good for them, but I don't think it's really a big trend actually.
Okay.
In
Yeah, because
this kind of music.
in this kind of way of description, we felt a lot of similarity with the concept of the Dadaism, no? About the dark cabaret. So for this reason, a few names of philosophers like Zara or Revola were mentioned in this case. But of course, the fact was also the question of Giulio here on Telegram that asked to this kind of situation. So don't worry, Giulio. If you catch dark folk or dark neo folk, maybe it's something different between the sound.
Yeah,
or
it's just
maybe
a different way of
description
it's just a different way of labeling the same stuff actually. It's just you can dark
something
folk and neo folk are the
appealing,
same.
you know?
Yeah.
More interesting. Maestro, che volevi chiedere tu?
E invece le differenze di due band, non so se li conosce, i Roma Amor, che è un gruppo del cabaret, è un genere che ha appunto un altro gruppo molto importante come i Rome. Come descriverebbe questi due artisti, queste due band, all'interno anche dell'inquadratura dell'arte francese? Ad esempio di
It's an
di
interesting
una
question.
chiesa apocalittica
Okay.
live.
Se dopo, allora, Chris, I think that you catch the name of the project.
Roma Amor,
Yeah, and the interesting question, since
they're
the
really
maestro,
good,
Maestro is a big fan of the French art and paintings.
Yeah.
So we would like to make like an off topic and say, oh, please ask to Chris if he can describe those projects using French artists, paintings.
Which artist do you mean? We like my music or?
No,
Sì, la musica ingloba l'arte.
Your music, but also I think that you want to create a concept between maybe describing a band using a painter, for example, using an artist. We know it's a big question, but the maestro in every fucking interview, he always said quotes Monet or other French artists in that sense. So he want to ask you if you have some names in the art that maybe it's not so famous that can be compared to those bands in terms of visual aspect.
Not French, not French people, but there's all the expressionist movement and like Munch and and stuff like that. I think can be related to dark folk, neo folk. Actually, I'm not really into painting, so
Okay, don't do it.
so I really can't. But I
But
know
I
that
think the expressionism is it's a great answer
yeah,
actually, because
yeah,
I think if we think about the scream of Munch, no, it's
yeah,
describing the whole
yeah,
situation, the colors. I think that it's perfect for
yeah.
that kind of situation. Maestro, quindi Chris ti dice che non è tanto un grandissimo estimatore dell'arte perché non è proprio il suo genere, però ti parla di espressionismo come parte di arte che ingloba la musica. Poi c'era anche una domanda di Alessandro. Is a
No,
question from
aspetta, per quanto invece riguarda le due band, Roma Amor
it's and Chris, please, you were saying something or sorry to
Yeah, I
interrupt.
just wanted to say about
Yes.
my own music. If I can,
Okay, sorry.
if I can relate it to an artist that does painting, it would be a guy that I met just last week in Lviv in Ukraine, who paints street art on camouflage vehicles for the army.
And you remember the name of that artist or?
I can find it on Instagram.
You can of course send me the link on the private chat that we had on StreamYard. By the way, I'm translating
It's
for the
Nick Viska.
Ok, praticamente riguardante la sua musica, che lui sa, che Christopher è uno dei West Wind, grandissimo progetto che io stimo tanto del neofolk apocalittico, tra virgolette. Lui, insieme alle band che hai nominato, Maestro, dice che è molto vicino a un artista che fa street art che ha conosciuto in Ucraina, che lui fa. Chris ha come tra l'altro le sue attività anche quelle di svolgere aiuti umanitari, furgone dalla Francia all'Ucraina per dare aiuto alle famiglie, alle persone, quindi atto nobile che gli riconosciamo e lo stimiamo in questo. Ha trovato una street artist che praticamente fa arte sui veicoli militari, cioè utilizza pezzi di veicoli militari e fa proprio dipinge sopra. Quindi il concetto di arte è comunque un concetto di secondo me legato anche alla musica del neofolk, perché l'immaginario mimetico da sempre viene utilizzato in questo genere, e quindi diciamo che secondo me è perfetto, quindi da prendere proprio questi pezzi di ferro e poi utilizza, ecco, e fa arte, insomma. Quindi lui lo incentra su questa.
Perché voglio anticipare una cosa, che Roma Amor ci sarà sul canale, saranno. Li ho sentiti al telefono e saranno sul canale in sei interviste.
Okay. So for the non-Italian speaker, the maestro actually, before going to the next question, said that Roma Amor will be featured on Il Calice Nero. So guys, stay tuned, subscribe to our channel because we.
Saluto Candela, infatti.
Il maestro sta morendo tutto. Ok, Chris, there is a question from Alessandro from the project H, which is a really amazing project that we have from Italy. That he is asked to you. You have ever think about the possibility to create your own festival?
Actually, we wanted to do it for the 18th anniversary of Steelwork. It was in 2021, and then there was COVID, so everything was cancelled, and the venue where we wanted to make the concert was definitely closed.
Okay.
And now we are struggling to find another venue. So maybe we do one next year for the anniversary of Steelwork, but it will be like the 20th or 21st anniversary of Steelwork. And but yeah, we think of it, but it's complicated because we are in Brittany, and Brittany is far from Paris. It's far from. We are really on the edge of the world, technically. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to find some places that can host that kind of festival, because of course the big clubs are more in the center of the big town, as in Italy.
Yeah.
Ok, Alessandro, Chris doveva costituire il festival nel 2021, però fortunatamente il Covid ha fatto chiudere la struttura che avevano pensato di ospitare il festival. Ci sarà appunto un festival, stanno trovando appunto il posto nuovo, che sarà appunto di anniversario dei primi 20 anni di attività, 21, della Steelwork Maschine. Okay, good to know.
Actually, back to the cabaret thing. When we wanted to organize it more than a year ago, they started in France, because of the COVID law. people had to be sit in the. So we are going
I organized
to.
concerts. So I made one festival in the theater just to
Yeah.
provide people comfy seats, but it not works.
And so we changed the name to of the festival of the to Cabaret Nada, actually.
Ok.
Yeah, and so back to the cabaret thing.
Yeah, back to the cabaret, actually. Ok, quindi praticamente anche loro hanno avuto i problemi come noi, quindi le leggi, i concerti seduti, eccetera. Quindi hanno fatto, ecco, ritorna alla tematica del cabaret in qualche modo, ci dice Chris. Ok, io ci vorrei...
Ok.
No, vai, maestro, vai, dimmi.
A livello di crisi del neofolk, quanto ha toccato appunto nazioni come la Francia, che è molto attenta appunto all'eleganza, basta vedere il black metal, in genere black metal come ha avuto un exploit di eleganza sopraffina, però esiste una crisi sul neofolk, il dark ambient, il Marshall, visto che alcune band non rilasciano neanche interviste, tipo il Blood Axis, diverse band o anche addirittura Tony dei Soul Invictus o i Death in June che non rilasciano più interviste.
Speriamo di poterli
appunto, poi non so se rilasceranno interviste, però
poi dopo la parte Death in June mi collego a questo, gliela faccio la domanda perché lui gestisce il sito di Death in June, quindi poi ci chiediamo anche questo.
C'è una crisi che va a inglobare tutto il genere. Le etichette come riescono a puntare sui gruppi nuovi del genere? C'è una scouting, è molto difficile fare scouting nel neofolk, Marshall, eccetera, eccetera.
Okay, the question is about, basically it's one big question divided in the few parts. Basically, we noticed that even with the channel asking and requesting interview from the neo-folk Marshall industrial side, we do not have so much answers and replies. In fact, when someone on the genre said yes, we are like popping the champagne and say wow, because we love the genre and we would like to make a little bit of visibility in the internet era, you know.
Yeah.
Because as for the extreme metal, I think that also the neo folk have a bit of, let's call it crisis, but just to understand the situation, because it's about the music, the played music crisis in my opinion. So we want to ask also if our concerns are true, or maybe we have a wrong idea of the scene of the neo folk and Marshall industrial, etc., or there is a true, let's call it crisis. And relating to the first part of the question, since there are a lot of new projects also going on despite of the crisis, what is difficult, the scouting to proposing and bring to the light basically new project and new bands? How is the situation? Also related to France, of course.
Yeah, in France, neofolk doesn't exist.
Okay.
It's just like that. It's neofolk is something that doesn't exist. It's not like in Germany where neofolk is bigger and there's a lot of bands. In France, there's only like half a dozen bands, and we produce some of them. But there's no real media that speak about neofolk in France, and there's nothing about neofolk in France. It's neofolk technically doesn't exist.
Okay. So really at the borders, actually.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, it's really different than in Germany, where you can get when I went to the Runes and Men festival in Leipzig, I was stunned because there was maybe 1,000 people in the venue, and it was really huge. And in France, you would struggle to get maybe 200 people.
Okay.
And I know my friend Vincent in Paris organizes concerts for Au-delà du silence, and sometimes I know he play the band plays in a venue that can get maybe 100 people. And I remember that American band Backworld played in Paris maybe 15 years ago, and I think there was 10 people in the audience.
Okay, so really,
Yeah.
really not really stricted.
Yeah.
You had some
Yeah.
experience in Italy about the neo folk scene, or because I think that Italy and France have some similarities about struggling with those kind of genres. Because of course I
Yeah,
don't know.
I don't know really about it, about how things are going in Italy. I think that's a question you should ask to Rodolfo at all the Europa Cafe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will have him on the show too, I hope. Dobbiamo
Okay.
chiedere. But of course, we asked about Italy from someone that is not from Italy, just to have a different perspective, of the
Yeah.
usual Italians are not so good to relate with their own country. So
Yeah.
we tend to talk badly about our situation. Partially true, but of course, I think an objective point of view it's better. But of course, we will. We asked you about the France side because of course you are in France, and maybe
Yeah.
I thought that the scene in France was bigger. Maybe
No.
it's my perception. So okay,
No.
sad
It's
to
like
know, but I hope with this interview we can present to the other guys the bands that you carry also with
yeah.
the label. So, quindi maestro, la scena dice che in Francia non esiste, pochissime band, pochissime persone che okay, sorry Chris, I'm translating, sorry, I
Yeah.
try to
No
make
problem.
it automatically. Quindi dice che praticamente loro hanno anche problematiche a trovare i posti, le persone, quindi gruppi che vengono dall'America che hanno 10-20 persone, non so perché mi ricorda qualcosa uguale a noi, insomma. Anche se
In Italia è
comunque
molto peggio.
sì, io penso che in Italia facciamo più schifo, però ma non perché non abbiamo le strutture o le band. Infatti ci sta Rodolfo di Old Europa Caffè che spero che di avere comunque nello show, perché comunque lui c'ha, non dico il monopolio, ma comunque un nome molto rinomato.
Ordo Caffè?
Old Europa Caffè.
Non rilascio intervista.
Ah, mannaggia la miseria. Comunque le stiamo provando tutte. E quindi praticamente lui parla che ci sono una decina di band molto
Tantissimi.
confinate, venue molto piccole. E lui per esempio è andato al festival Runes and Men in Germania che anche 1000-2000 persone, comunque per un genere di nicchia. Quindi dice lui, se ci sono poche band, anche le nuove sono ben, diciamo, ben strutturate, ben maculate. Okay. Chris, we have like 10 minutes left, so we want to jump to the fact that I asking you about your involvement with That in June. So we know that you carried European, I think the European merch store of That in June.
Yeah.
So we want to ask you what way this collaboration started, and about the name of That in June in 2022, because of course a lot of people from the neo-folk scene or outside knows them as the best band, and what we want to know. We are really curious about how this thing started, because I think that it's a huge activity in your side.
It's actually it's not really there's not a really big story behind it, because I already started to sell Death in June t-shirts on my on the first Steelwork web store, and in 2015 Douglas told me that the guy who ran the merchandise site in Germany, he was stopping, so he wanted to sell everything. And so I just got hold of all the stocks, and that's how it started actually. But I already sold merchandise from Death in June before that, and since 2015, so I sell all the official merchandise in not only in Europe but in the whole world.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
there was it was planned to create a website dedicated to North America, but it failed for several reasons, and so right now there's only the deathengine.eu website that is running, and the .us site maybe will never start. Who knows?
About the Death in June side, there is some plans about new stuff, new merchandise, or something that maybe it's not released yet that you can say to us? Because of course a lot of people are asking.
there's no really plan at the moment because it's all up to Douglas. Sometimes Douglas wants to release new stuff, and sometimes he doesn't want. So the last time I told him we could release some new T-shirts, and he said no, we you just have enough T-shirts on stock. So right now we don't make new merchandise.
I'm really looking forward the rainbow patches of some years ago. Actually. By the way,
I think it would be a good idea to re-release it. Yeah.
No plans to re-release the rainbow one. Okay. No, because I really surfed the whole internet to get the Sun Wheel or the Tottenconf one with the rainbow, but I cannot find them. So I hope that will be a reissue. But it's up to Douglas. It's up to Douglas Pierce, actually.
Yeah.
So the relationship, you have the chance to carry the website. Of course, we partially of course recover that side on the at the beginning of the show. By the way, I hope that you are enjoying this interview so far, and we hope to invite you again about talking your own project, which is West Wind, in a future episode. So I hope we can stay in touch for the future. What I also partially, as I said, described your situation with PayPal at the beginning of the stream, but I don't want to go on it. I just want to tell the people to, of course, if they need something, there is the website steelwork.fr and also the datinjune.eu, which are the websites as I'm showing now. The website, web shops that people maybe can support your work as Steelwork Machine. We got just the last two questions for you. One question is about it's not about music, it's about what you do as a volunteer, as we spoke in Ukraine. Just if it's not music related, but I think that it's a good point to.
Actually, it's music related. It's more than music related, and it's related. It's related to this engine.
But I think I just want to ask this question because, of course, we also make some initiatives as the Calice Nero Volt Club, our association too, fighting the breast cancer, for example, and something like that. So we want to ask you why you started that kind of mutual aid, let's call it like this, and the difficulties to. We know that you travel by yourself and you make things by your own. So we just want to ask you how it started and why, and also what are your efforts behind this kind of activities that you make for
it started just actually when the war started in Ukraine. Before that, I was already aware of what had been going on in Ukraine with Maidan, and before that, even earlier with the Orange Revolution back in 2003. And it just I just had to do something. It was like some friends and customers, and so I had to help in one way or another. So I went there in April, and before that I searched on the Desinjune merchandise store who I had as customers in Ukraine, and I looked into people who were in Lviv. And I contacted one guy who was helping with a refugee center in Lviv. And it happened that he's a musician too, and quite well known in Ukraine. And so we have been in contact since, and I started driving there it's like the 5 times I go there. And I just bring lots of stuff, and it helps people there.
Okay.
And it's really so that's why it's related to Desinjune, because actually my first contact in Lviv when I arrived there was a Ukrainian fan of Desinjune.
Okay, well, thanks to that
Yeah.
engine, basically.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
okay. Very good to know. In case people can get you in touch, maybe if they can help in some way, there is a way to help in case of donation, stuff like that.
I think it's best for people to look around them. If there are local people who do collects, or because helping me when I'm if they are from Italy, maybe there's someone around them who does travels to Ukraine, or and just go see with them. There's a lot of Ukrainians refugees who have started organizations to help Ukraine. So if you want to help, just go look after them.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Very good statement to do.
Yeah.
Ask your local or local associations on loose like this, so they can
Yeah.
provide them. By the way, maestro, poi traduciamo tutto, non ti preoccupare. Another question by Alessandro. Grazie Alessandro veramente per le tue domande. Alessandro asks you, Chris, how you perceive the evolution of the music that you produce with your label, and if there were or there are some new bands that bring on the table new ideas, new influences, new way of sound.
Yeah,
Maybe
there's always
partially you already answered, but of course I think it's good to.
I think it's always new ideas, because like when we met the Michel from the Enchanted Wood, it was completely new for us, the stuff he did, and it was revealing in some way. And every band brings really new stuff for us. It's we have never been bored, or just listening to a record that we wanted to release and say we've heard that before, and it's never been like that. It's always evolving, and constantly.
Okay.
And even for my music, it's constantly evolving. I don't want to do the same thing that I did on the previous record.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So I hope that Alessandro will be satisfied with this question. So Chris, thanks for your time. We have the last question for you before making you the last question. I have two requests. One, I will make some time to translate for the guys that are watching us. And the second one, if you can stay some minutes after the live stream when it will close in this page, just to ask you something about your label with Il Calice Nero as podcast, etc. So if you can, of course. If you can't, okay, perfect. Now, okay, I forgot to put the banner, so okay, perfect. So okay, some time for you guys that are watching from Italy, actually. Allora, praticamente abbiamo parlato del suo involvement con i Death in June, con il merchandising, che inizia tutto da una questione che lo shop europeo in Germania stava chiudendo, quindi a contatto diretto con Douglas Pierce, che è il mastermind di Death in June. Quindi lui dice: molte persone me lo chiedono perché sembra una cosa un po' più romantica, però alla fine è stata una sorta di mutuo aiuto che si fa con i Death in June, quindi tutta la produzione di merchandising passa per la sua giurisdizione, quindi se non vedete degli articoli, ne vedete altri, alcuni ristampati, altri no, è praticamente Douglas che decide lui di stampare o meno nuove magliette, nuove cose. Comunque ha avuto tanta soddisfazione, anche se c'era anche una parte nordamericana che doveva aprirsi, però non ha avuto seguito. Però comunque dice che in Europa c'è tanto materiale che gira, e quindi ci fa capire che come nome, nonostante l'inattività voluta, è un nome che comunque rientra tra l'Olimpo, no, dei progetti. Quindi la stessa la questione di Death in June è anche collegata alla questione di aiuti umanitari che fa in Ucraina, perché attraverso il sito Death in June è entrato in contatto con un musicista ucraino che aveva bisogno comunque del supporto, questo ben prima dei fatti di cronaca e della guerra, ma già dalla rivoluzione che c'è stata gli anni scorsi, e comunque non è una cosa che ragazzi esce così. E quindi lui mensilmente organizza delle spedizioni in furgone, si fa dalla Francia all'Ucraina e porta aiuto alle famiglie, come abbiamo già detto. E gli ho detto sostanzialmente, se non fosse stato per i detti in giù non avrei fatto questa cosa. E quando gli ho chiesto se c'era una maniera per aiutarlo, lui in maniera molto nobile ha detto: piuttosto che aiutare me che sto in Francia, se volete aiutare questa situazione per i rifugiati di guerra, chiedete alle associazioni, alle onlus che stanno sul vostro territorio, perché sicuro qualcuno c'è, perché non ha senso darmi qualcosa, preferisco che aiutate le persone attraverso le vostre situazioni in locale. Ecco, quindi è stato molto bello questa
Bisogna
cosa.
vedere quale onlus andare a fidarsi, perché sennò sei testi di
Vabbè, però
cazzo.
diciamo che questo penso che non l'abbiamo voluto toccare per semplicità di
Lo
risposta.
tocco io tranquillamente,
Sì,
perché
sì,
sennò sei
sì.
truffatori molte onlus.
Sì, sì, assolutamente. Infatti lui dice che proprio per evitare questa cosa, lui si è messo in contatto con un ragazzo e quindi lui va proprio con a sue spese, recupera, cioè a sue spese si va a fare i viaggi per dare una mano, insomma, portare i beni di prima necessità alle persone. Per quanto riguarda invece l'evoluzione stilistica della musica, lui dice che ci sta molta evoluzione già nelle domanda di Alessandro, molta evoluzione già presente all'interno delle loro label, perché comunque tutti gli artisti rinnovano comunque la loro proposta musicale, non c'è mai qualcuno che fa copia e incolla diciamo della loro musica, c'è sempre un'evoluzione. Lui stesso con il suo progetto, ma anche un po' tutte le band del roster, ne ha nominata una in particolare dove praticamente veramente portano sul cilindro delle idee pazzesche, sempre a migliorare, sempre a guardare in maniera avanguardistica un settore particolare. Effettivamente, nonostante la risposta lapidaria che ci ha dato sulla Francia e comunque non c'è una vera neofolk, c'è poco da dire, che dice che i fan sono pochi, non c'è ricambio generazionale, mi ricorda tanto qualcosa uguale a noi, maestro. Però dice che comunque la volontà degli artisti di mettersi in gioco è comunque tanta, quindi si riflette anche sulla creazione, ci sta tanta voglia di sperimentare, tante nuove idee in ballo, ecco. Stesso lui con il suo progetto, che ricordiamo i Westwind, sono un progetto che va più sull'apocalittico, quindi ce ne sarà poi da parlare nella prossima intervista, che penso che avremo stesso con lui. Maestro, se mi dai il permesso, dopo aver tradotto, facciamo l'ultima domanda a Chris.
Oggi la faccio io quella domanda appunto della bevanda, però
Vai.
prima della domanda, domani ricordiamo che ci sono gli Orchris delle 22-23 per impegni appunto di uno dei musicisti, si è fatto appunto quell'orario, e ricordo che invece l'8, il giorno di Immacolata, siamo con tripla intervista con Corazzata Valdemone parte 2, con la Mara, un progetto jazz noir, che c'è anche appunto il ragazzo dei Macelleria Mobili di Mezzanotte, appunto, e poi il progetto Alia, che è un progetto dark ambient con tripla intervista, con appunto playlist killer e quant'altro.
Sì.
Voglio chiedere appunto a Chris, appunto congedare con l'ultima domanda, quale sarebbe quella bevanda che riuscirebbe ad attaccare, intaccare e ubriacare allo stesso tempo sia il mentore dell'etichetta, sia l'etichetta e allo stesso band? Qual è la bevanda perfetta per degustare il vero neofolk attraverso il palato?
Okay. So, we reminded some appointment to our channel in those days, so be sure to check it out. By the way, at the end of Il Calicenero, as many knows, we got with this question, but we customized it a little bit for Chris actually, because we want to, of course, ask you some things not only about his project, but also his label, but also his way to, of course, his way of enjoy the neo folk with. Okay, Chris. At the end of Il Calice Nero's interview, we always ask, since Il Calice Nero means in English the black calice, which is the perfect drink to describe something, project, label. So we want to ask you if you can tell to us, which is the perfect drink to describe Steelwork as label, Westwind as project, and also which is the perfect drink to describe the genre of neofolk, the maestro actually asks.
What kind of drink for for the label?
Any drink, not stricted with anything. You can answer whatever you.
I think for the label it would be I think it would be absinthe.
Ok.
Yeah.
Che cosa?
Any kind of absent or one in particular?
Switzerland absinthe.
Ok, quindi per la lab è l'assenzio, praticamente.
Strano, è che l'assenzio ormai è diventato proprio l'appellativo del canale.
And, for
West Wind, I think it would be black beer. Yeah. Actually, when I go to Ukraine, I'll always bring a lot of beer from there with me. And because I'm really a fan of beer, and I think black beer would be like a really tasty black beer.
You have some brands of reference, of course, not endorsing anyone, but just to black beer, any kind of black beer or
any kind of black beer, yeah. Not like Guinness or stuff like that, but
Guinness.
I mean
more craft beer.
Craft beer, yeah.
Quindi per il progetto Westwind, Chris sceglie, sembra tipo sommelier. I'm acting like a sommelier right now. He choose like craft black beer, it's right. Quindi una birra nera ma artigianale.
Ma ho sentito Guinness, no?
Ho detto non come la Guinness, una più artigiana.
I just come back with something.
Ok, non worry. Ne sta prendendo una in diretta che dice che quando va in Ucraina se ne via sempre, insomma. Tranquillo, è tranquillo anche lui.
Perché ne trovi birra in Ucraina adesso? Mi sembra un po' difficile, cazzo.
No, dice comunque alcune cose ci stanno di...
Sì, bucate per le bottiglie.
Soprattutto a confine con la Romania, lontano dal conflitto. Dice che...
No, io sono in Roma, io sono a Kiev.
Ma non ha parlato di Kiev. Ok.
This is really good. Pravda. Pravda beer. They stopped doing beer at the start of the war to produce Molotov cocktails.
Proprio Ucraina?
Sì. No, proprio Ucraina, sì. Quindi è una birra scura, quindi ragazzi segnate. Take notes for the people that are into the beer. And about the perfect drink for describing the neo-folk, in your opinion? I know it's a extended question, but just to play with those
I
things.
think I would go back to absinthe as well.
Okay.
Yeah, absinthe. Yeah, because like Blood Axis did a full record based on absinthe with Les Joyaux de la Princesse, like 20 years ago, and I think that's the drink that can relate really to the neo-folk genre.
Ok.
Yeah, absinthe.
Quindi praticamente rifacendosi al discorso dei Blood Axis che 20 anni fa hanno fatto un album riguardando proprio l'assenzio per Chris è la bevanda perfetta per descrivere il neo-folk. Ok. Concludiamo l'intervista e ringraziamo veramente Chris e tutti quanti voi per aver visto il video.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you for your time and even with the flu you and the maestro were like on the same spot. So thanks for your time and thanks for your kindness. We hope to engage a kind of relationship within the channel and the label in the future.
Yeah.
We have open arms about that because we really love your work. I'm already a supporter of your stuff, and I will continue to support. Of course, without PayPal, don't worry. Jokes aside, we try. It's better to joke because we have still to.
I'm always joking about PayPal. Even on Facebook, I say that I work for PayPal.
And we hope that this kind of shitty attitude that we have on internet about the neo folk can of course decrease because it's a beautiful genre and people like metal, of course, can misunderstand a little bit. But of course, we got plenty of artists in France, in Italy, in general, and I hope that this genre maybe can relieve a second wave of golden age, let's call it like this, because I think that the audience from metal and new folk are not the same, but partially the same. So we hope to bring more new folk on the channel. and just to change neo folk, but also martial industrial, power electronics. When I say neo folk, I say plenty of stuff together. Sorry about that. I don't like to name a lot of things with different names. I say one things for a lot of things. No? And so, guys, this is Kris from Steelwork, the label Steelwork Maschine, and also that in June merchandise. Be sure to heads up on their on his website. You find plenty of release and stuff. He ship without any problem worldwide except Russia for obvious reasons. And support his work, support the band, and support the music, buying the physical copy, because as we already said in Calice Nero, the physical copy means our freedom of expression, because nobody can shoot down and make us stopping to listen, except from the digital. Ok, grazie Alessandro, grazie a tutti. Thanks for
allora, saluto Giulia, saluto l'Arcana Incantatrice. Allora ragazzi, ci saranno delle news sul canale, mi raccomando, si sta lavorando in maniera silenziosa. Occhio questa domenica, domenica, non si dice niente, ma occhio questa domenica, intervista al lampo. Cosa voglio dire? Che ci saranno, si sta lavorando sulla zin per delle situazioni particolari anche sul canale. Ragazzi, mi raccomando, seguite il mese di dicembre, verranno riprese le interviste con i Carpathian Forest, con i Venom verrà spostato di qualche giorno. Mi raccomando, state attenti perché ci saranno altre 2 domeniche, 1 o 2 domeniche, che potrebbero esserci 2 interviste, soprattutto una molto grossa. Non vi dico che cosa. Non vi dico, però vediamo un attimo. Ragazzi, il grande spettacolo non si fermerà mai. Il sacro codice domani 000, la morte vi renderà liberi. Au revoir.
Ok, grazie a tutti. Thank you for everything and see you in the next episode. And thanks again, Kris.
See
you later.
Thank you.